Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this NFL schedule edition of Billievers Talk. We're talking about our Buffalo Bills, and we're talking NFL schedule release. We talked about some of the leaks that happened yesterday, and most of them turned out to be true. If not all of them turned out to be true. So I'm very curious on what people's reaction is to the Buffalo Bills schedule. I know BillsMafia and others. Hey, Ruben, good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you guys remember to hit that thumbs up button as you enter the chat and leave a comment. You know how I love these live streams. I love interacting with BillsMafia. So be sure to do that as well. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Still trying to figure out what we're going to do with this channel once I do combine forces with #sports. But we'll definitely be keeping you guys updated as that transition happens. But we want to talk about the 2021 NFL schedule. So it starts off week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm not going to go over every single game that I'm telling my friends to watch it. Thank you very much, Ruben. I appreciate it. I'm not going to go over every single game, but I am going to go over some games of note. Week 1, we go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's a great week 1 matchup, 1 o'clock game against a playoff team from last year, a team that's been formidable for a long time. And I know that Steelers fans living in Pennsylvania, I hear all the time that Steelers fans some of them aren't the biggest fan of Mike Tomlin. But one thing I always tell them is Mike Tomlin's the only coach in NFL history to never have a below 500 record. Even 2 years ago, when they were forced to put in Duck Hodgins as their quarterback, they still finished 8-8. And someone like Bill Belichick, Steve Walsh, they can't even say that. They cannot say that they've never finished. Marv Levy can never say that they finished below 500. And I think for Mike Tomlin, that's something that you have to tip your hat to him and say, hey, this guy is a winner. Whether he's won the big games or not, he knows how to win, especially in the regular season. So definitely going to be a good matchup for the Buffalo Bills. It is in Buffalo, so we get a home opener, so that's kind of nice. And I know they always say that, week 2 or week 3 is a home opener, so it is the team's home opener. But you guys know there's nothing like opening at home week 1 of the NFL schedule. Can I say what the Bills schedule is? Steelers, etc. Let me see if I can remember this off the top of my head. Obviously, I'm not near my computer or anything like that. So week 1, we play the Steelers. Week 2, we're in Miami. And if you're in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong and fill in the blanks. Week 2, we're at Miami. Week 3, we're at the Washington football team, which is that 17th game, right? So the way the 17th game is going to work, and we knew this going into it, is reverse standings from the previous year. So basically, where we finished in the AFC, we will play the team that finished in that same position in the NFC. And it kind of works out for the Bills this year because even though the Washington football team only finished 8-8, I believe it was, they won their division. So where they sit in the standings is a little bit higher than where they normally would. So we are going against the Washington football team week 3, and you look at records from last year, and you might think, oh, that's not going to be a terrible game for the Bills, and it's not. But you still look at that front 7 for the Washington football team. They can create some havoc. They got a lot of first-round picks on that front 7. So I'm not sitting here saying that's going to be an easy win. I don't think there's a such thing as an easy win in the NFL. And guys, you know how this works. I already see some bloggers and other people on Twitter and stuff like that putting out their season predictions. I'm not going to put my season prediction out there until I know what happened in preseason, until I see what happened in training camp. Listen, every year players go down with non-contact injuries, and when you hear non-contact injuries, we know what that means. We know it's an ACL. We know it's some sort of out for season type injury. Now, obviously, we hope that doesn't happen to the Buffalo Bills this season, but sometimes those things are unpreventable. And, again, non-contact injuries, they happen, and we don't want them to happen to anybody, but they are going to happen. So I'm not going to predict anything. Hey, Garrett Hall, good to see you. And again, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button as you're entering the chat, but I'm not going to predict anything until I know what we're going into, right? Now, obviously, as the season moves along, you can't predict injuries either, but at least I'll have a kind of understanding of where the Buffalo Bills sit entering week 1 of the NFL football season. So I will give my prediction, but not until closer to September, maybe a week before the NFL season starts. So week 3, we play the Washington football team. Forget who we play week 4. Let me know in the comment section. Like I said, I'm not around my computer or anything like that. Week 5, we do play the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Week 6, we have a Monday Night Football game against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. And then week 7 is our bye week. So those are the first 7 weeks. Some highlights that I'll remember. And again, let me know in the comment section what I'm missing here, because I know I'm missing some. And I know someone wants, some of you out there want the whole schedule. So I do apologize, Ruben, for not knowing off the top of my head yet. Just less than 24 hours. So give me some time. By next week, I'll know it. Week 4 is Houston. Thank you. Yeah, week 4 spin is against Houston. Week 5 at Kansas City. Week 6 at Tennessee. So our first 6 matchups, we have only 2 home games. Is that right? Because we have the first game at home. No, 3, because Washington's at home and then Houston's at home. So first 6 matchups, our home games are week 1, week 3, week 4, away 2, 5, and 6. And like I said, bye week 7. Week 8 coming out of the bye. Again, this is where I'm drawing a blank. I know week 12, Thanksgiving Day, we do play the New Orleans Saints. Thanksgiving night, I should say. We're the 8 o'clock game in New Orleans, so we have another Thanksgiving game. I know that we play New England twice towards the end of the season, the back half of the season. I think we play them twice in 4 weeks. And then the second game will be a Monday Night Football game. The game in Buffalo will be the Monday Night Football game, so that's something to look forward to as well. I believe our last game of the year is against the Jets. You all know how they'd like to do that divisional matchup type thing towards the end of the season. So again, sorry I don't know the full schedule off the top of my head. I knew 5 out of the first 6 weeks. I'm kind of impressed about that. And like I said, bye week 7. So those are some highlights. There are some notes that I wanted to make about this schedule that are very interesting to me. First off, the Buffalo Bills do not play a single team coming off a bye in 2021. So that's kind of exciting to me. That means that we will be playing teams that played the previous week, and so they might be a little banged up as well. We have no team coming off a bye who have a chance to get fresh. Now listen, let's not forget that the pandemic is still a thing. I don't know where it's going to be in September. None of us know where it's going to be in September. And however you feel about the pandemic, I don't care. But at the same time, it could still mess with the NFL schedule, right? We've seen it happen in baseball. We've seen it happen in basketball. Now, could it only be a position group? You know, we saw the Buffalo Bills had to go without tight ends last season, but they still played. The Broncos had to go without a quarterback last season, but they still played. Am I worried about our offensive line once we re-sign Josh Allen? Are we going to be able to pay them if Josh gets a big contract? Well, this is why I don't understand why people were upset about the draft. Right now, in our first 3 picks, we only drafted 1 offensive lineman, but this works for both the offensive line and defensive line. When we give Josh Allen his big contract, we're going to have to rely on the draft where we can get these players for kind of cheap to fill in those holes, to fill in those roles, and to be some kind of good or very, very good, hopefully, offensive and defensive linemen. So when you look at a draft like this past year, and probably going into next year too, you're going to see a lot of depth guys and a lot of frontline guys being drafted. And the reason for that is because, listen, you can get Cole Beasley, you can get John Brown, you can get Emmanuel Sanders. You can get those guys pretty cheap, and we've seen what has happened. I hope nothing happens like what happened to the Chiefs where we can't pay the offensive line. Well, look what the Chiefs just did to revamp their offensive line, though, right? Trading for Orlando Brown, drafting a couple big names. They still have some big names on that offensive line. So, yeah, they lose their 2 tackles, but they still got some big names on that offensive line. They were able to revamp it. Now, I don't think Josh Allen's going to be paid $500 million. I think that kind of contract is just out of his reach, but it's going to be pretty high, right? It's going to be a pretty high contract, and hopefully we get to see that contract soon. And again, I'll break it down for you right here on Believers Talk the moment the news breaks through. So make sure you're staying on the lookout. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and we will continue to go live with late breaking news. But again, and also join #sports because once we get everything figured out, I will be breaking news over there as well. So again, not sure what we're doing with this channel yet, but I look forward to bringing you great content still over on Hashtag's channel. So make sure if you're not subscribed to Hashtag Sports and you like this content, you go over there and subscribe. But I think you're going to see a lot of offensive and defensive line signings in the draft because that's where we need to make our mark. You've seen wide receivers, you see running backs. I don't want to say they come a dime a dozen, but at the same time, you can find great talent in those position groups and not pay all that much money. Gabriel Davis, great example, right? Late in the draft. Now, things like that. Justin Jefferson, you can find him, someone like that, maybe in the mid first to late first round. So I think that the Buffalo Bills are going to be a contender as long as Josh Allen's on this team. As long as Josh Allen is healthy, I think the Buffalo Bills finally have a quarterback where you could sit there and say, no, as long as he's there, we're going to be contenders. And that's where he's at right now. And there are some people who believe, myself included, that he still has not hit his ceiling. Hey, Angry Buffalo Sports fan, glad to see you. I was about to say you could start changing your name away from Angry, but then I remember the Sabres still playing Buffalo, so no, there's still plenty of reasons to be angry if you're a Buffalo sports fan. But there's still so much going on with Josh Allen as far as talent goes, that he still might not have reached his potential. And if that's the case, then the whole NFL needs to look out because he has a lot of growing left to do, I believe. And as long as Brandon Beane, Coach McDermott, maybe Brian Daboll, as long as they put him in the position to succeed, then I think he's going to do just that. And even if Brian Daboll leaves, I believe Ken Dorsey will probably be the next offensive coordinator coming up for the Buffalo Bills. So plenty of reasons to be excited if you are a Buffalo Bills fan. This schedule, I don't like doing the whole strength of schedule thing based off last year because I think that's a crock. I really do because so much can change from year to year. But our strength of schedule is pretty easy comparatively. I think we have the 4th or 5th easiest strength of schedule this season. After last year, we had the 3rd hardest or 5th hardest strength of schedule. So not too worried about that. But again, I think the schedule is laid out pretty nicely for the Buffalo Bills playing on Thanksgiving. Then you have an extra long week. You have the bye week, week 7. So you do have 10 games in a row before the playoffs. But again, if you play on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, that kind of gives you a bye, half a bye week, so to speak, late in the season. That would be week 12 going into week 13. We play the Patriots both times late, so that's going to be exciting to see. By that time, is it still going to be Cam Newton? Is Brown going to be in for the Patriots? We don't know. The Dolphins, obviously, going to be a tough out. We play them week 2, so we'll know pretty early on who will kind of take that leg up in the division. The Jets still lagging a little bit. We play them twice after the bye week as well. So I think 5 of our 6 divisional matchups come after the bye week. Now, that could be good or that could be bad. I feel like for a young team, playing your divisional matchups late is actually a good thing. So you look at the Jets, you look at the Dolphins, and you look at them playing the Bills late, and they're probably excited about that. They're probably excited. They can kind of get their feet under them a little bit. They don't have to worry about those divisional matchups right away. If I were the Buffalo Bills, I would want my divisional matchups a little earlier in the season, just so that way, we're the veteran team right now. We're the team that has the least amount of we have the most continuity, I should say. The Buffalo Bills have the most continuity right now, and that's a big thing early in a season, right? I'm excited to play, the Dolphins week 2, but I would love to see more of those type of matchups. I don't know who's going to be the Houston quarterback week 4. That's going to be big for the Buffalo Bills. Those type of things are honestly going to be big for the Buffalo Bills as far as moving forward with the schedule. So I would rather play the divisional games early, but we'll wait and see what happens. I still think we're the best team on paper in the AFC East, so I think we're going to win the division. I think the 1 seed is going to be that bye week is going to be very important the first year we have. I like how the Jets are playing Carolina week 1. Sam Darnold playing his old team. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. I won't be seeing it because I'll be covering the Steelers-Bills game live for you guys. Again, whether it's here on this channel or over on Hashtag Sports, make sure you catch the live play-by-play of week 1 of the Buffalo Bills versus Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have that coverage. Obviously, we'll keep you all up to date on where that's going to be and when that's going to be. But I look forward to it, and I hope you do too. So again, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. The schedule is released. Again, some noteworthy things, but I think overall it's a great schedule for the Buffalo Bills. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.